The street was quiet. Too quiet. Cold wind moved empty papers along the dark road. Broken streetlights blinked like tired eyes. Most people were already asleep inside their homes. The city did not care what happened in its shadows. A man was walking home from work. His name was Evan Halley. He was not a soldier, not a hero, just a normal human with tired legs and a small bag of food in his hand. He had worked all day at a factory. His back hurt. His mind was empty. He only wanted to reach his small room and sleep. Then he heard it. A sound that did not belong. Soft. Broken. Scared. A cry. Evan stopped walking. At first, he thought it was a cat or maybe a child. But this sound was different. It was thin, shaking, like someone trying hard not to be heard. Slowly, Evan turned his head. In the narrow alley beside the street, something small was moving. A little figure. It stepped into the weak light of the street lamp. It was a child, but not human. Her skin was pale blue. Her eyes were large and glowing softly in the dark. Her clothes were torn and dirty. She was shaking. An alien child. Evan's heart began to beat faster. Aliens were not new to Earth. Everyone knew about them. Some were peaceful, some were not. Most humans stayed far away from them, but this was just a child. She looked at Evan with fear in her eyes. She took one step back, ready to run. Evan raised both hands slowly. "It's okay," he said. Softly, "I won't hurt you." The child did not understand his words, but she understood his tone. She stayed where she was, breathing fast, her small chest moving up and down. Then Evan heard another sound. Footsteps. Fast, heavy, angry. 3 men came from the other side of the street. They were big. Their faces were hard. Their eyes were cold. Of them held a long knife. "There she is," one man said. "Don't let it escape again." The alien child made a small frightened sound and moved behind Evan without thinking. Evan felt his blood turn cold. He looked at the men, then at the child hiding behind him. He understood. They were hunting her. Evan's legs wanted to move. His body wanted to run. Fear screamed inside him. "This is not your problem," but he did not move. Instead, he stepped forward. He stood between the men and the child. "She's just a kid," Evan said. His voice was shaking, but he forced the words out. "Leave her alone," the men laughed. "Move," one of them said. "She is not your business." Evan's hands were shaking. His heart was beating like a drum, but he stayed. "No," he said. "You'll have to go through me." For a moment, everything was still. Then the man with the knife rushed forward. Pain exploded in Evan's side. The knife went in. Once. Evan gasped. He fell to one knee, but he did not fall completely. The child screamed. The man pulled the knife out and stabbed again. Twice. Evan cried out, but still he did not move away. The men looked surprised. Again. 3 times. 4. Blood ran down Evan's clothes. His vision became blurry. "Why won't you die?" One man shouted. Another stabbed. 5. 6. Evan could barely breathe now. His body was screaming in pain. Every part of him wanted to fall and let go, but behind him, the child was crying. Small hands were holding his jacket. That was enough. Evan used the last of his strength and stood again. He opened his arms wide. "If you want her," he said with broken breath, "you go through me first." The men were angry now. The knife came again. 7. 8. Evan finally fell to the ground. The world was spinning. The sky above him looked dark and empty. The men ran away when they heard sirens in the distance. They did not care anymore. They had done their job, they thought. The alien child dropped to her knees beside Evan. She touched his face with her small shaking hands. Warm blood covered her fingers. Her eyes filled with tears. Evan opened his eyes just a little. He could barely see her, but he smiled. "It's okay," he whispered. "You're safe now." Those were his last words before darkness took him. The police arrived. Humans shouted. Lights flashed, but Evan saw none of it. The world went silent. Cold. Black. But Evan did not die. Far away from that dark street, strange machines began to work. Soft lights surrounded his body, and unknown voices spoke in a language not from Earth. Because the man who took 8 stabs for an alien child was about to wake up in a world that would change his life forever. Darkness slowly faded. At first, Evan felt nothing. No pain, no sound, no body. Then, feeling returned. A soft humming noise entered his ears. A warm light touched his closed eyes. Evan tried to move his hand. He could. That alone shocked him. He slowly opened his eyes. The ceiling above him was not made of stone or metal like any hospital he knew. It looked like flowing light, moving slowly, like water in the sky. Colors shifted gently. Blue, silver, soft green. He blinked again and again. Am I dreaming? He thought. He tried to sit up, but his body felt heavy. Strange smooth bands of light were wrapped around his arms and chest. They were not tight, but they held him in place. Fear touched his heart. He turned his head. The room was large and round. There were no sharp corners. The walls curved like the inside of a shell. Soft light came from everywhere, yet he could not see any lamps. Then he saw them. 3 figures were standing near him. Tall, not human. Their skin was pale silver. Their eyes were dark and calm. They wore long flowing armor that looked more like living cloth than metal. Aliens. Evan single quotes. Breath became fast. He tried to speak, but his throat was dry. One of the aliens stepped forward slowly. Do not fear, human. Evan, the being said. The voice was strange but clear. Like many voices speaking as one. Evan's eyes went wide. You know my name? He whispered. The alien nodded. Double quotes. We know much about you, it said. You survived what no human should. Evan's mind raced. The street, the knives, the pain. The child, Evan said quickly. Is she okay? Is she safe? For a moment, the aliens looked at each other. Then another one stepped forward. She lives, it said. Because of you. A deep breath escaped Evan's chest. His eyes filled with water, but he did not cry. He only whispered, good. The first alien raised one long hand. A small light appeared above its palm. In that light, Evan saw images. The alley. The attackers. Him standing in front of the child. Him falling. We saw everything, the alien said. You chose pain so another could live. Evan shook his head slowly. She was just a kid, he said. Anyone would have done the same. The aliens were silent for a moment. No one of them said, not anyone. The light changed. Now Evan saw the child. She was lying in a soft bed, surrounded by glowing symbols. She looked clean now, safe, sleeping peacefully. She is of royal blood, the alien said. She is not only a child. Evan stared at the image. Royal? He whispered. Yes, the alien answered. She is the last daughter of a fallen house. Many want her dead. Evan's heart tightened. So, those men, he said. They were sent, the alien replied. Not by humans, by enemies from beyond your world. Evan closed his eyes slowly. All this because he tried to protect a scared little girl. He opened his eyes again. Why am I here? Evan asked. The aliens looked at him carefully. You were dying, one said. Your body was broken beyond repair. Another continued. Yet the child would not release you. She held your hand and cried for you to live. Evan remembered her small hands, her tears mixing with his blood. We brought you here, the first alien said, because your life no longer belongs only to you. Evan felt cold inside. What does that mean? He asked. The alien moved closer. It means, it said slowly, that your choice has tied your fate to ours. The light around his body slowly disappeared. The bands released him gently. Evan sat up slowly now. His body felt strange, but strong. He looked at his hands. No wounds, no scars, not even pain. What did you do to me? Evan asked. The alien replied, we rebuilt you. Evan looked up sharply. Rebuilt? He repeated. Yes, it said. Your bones were strengthened. Your blood was changed. Your heart was healed beyond human limits. Evan stood up slowly. From the bed, he felt light, powerful, different. But you are still human, the alien added. Only more. Evan's mind could not understand it all. He took a step forward. The floor beneath. His feet glowed softly. I didn't ask for this, Evan said. The alien bowed its head slightly. We know, it replied. That is why you are worthy. Suddenly, a small sound came from behind. Evan turned. The alien child stood there. She was wearing clean white clothes now. Her eyes shined like stars. She looked smaller than he remembered, and even more fragile. She looked at him for a moment. Neither moved. Then she ran. She threw her small arms around Evan's waist and held him tightly. He froze. Then slowly placed his hands on her back. She was shaking. You're safe, Evan whispered again. The child looked up at him and spoke in broken human words. My hero. At that moment, Evan felt something change inside him forever. He was no longer just a factory worker. He was now connected to a story far greater than Earth, and somewhere far away. Those who wanted the child dead were already searching for him. Evan did not sleep. He stood near a wide, clear wall that looked into deep space. Stars moved slowly like shining dust. Huge alien ships floated outside like silent giants. He was still human, but nothing felt normal anymore. Behind him, the alien child slept on a soft, glowing bed. Her small chest rose and fell in calm rhythm. Evan crossed his arms and stared at the stars. I only wanted to help, he whispered to himself. I never asked for any of this. A soft sound came behind him. One of the silver-skinned aliens entered the room. You feel alone, the alien said. Evan did not turn. I am alone, he replied. The alien stepped closer. You are not. It said, you are standing at the center of something greater than yourself. Evan turned slowly. Then tell me, he said, why does everyone here look at me like I am dangerous and precious at the same time? The alien was silent for a moment. Because, it said, you are both. It raised its hand and light appeared again. This time, the light showed different worlds. Burning cities. Broken planets. Alien warriors fighting in the dark. A war has moved across the stars, the alien said. Many species have fallen. The images changed. Now Evan saw the alien child's people. Tall beings with glowing eyes and golden armor. They were surrounded, outnumbered. They were hunted, the alien continued, because of what they carry in their blood. Evan clenched his fists. And now, he said quietly, they want her. Yes, the alien answered, and because you saved her, they now want you too. Evan felt a cold wave pass through him. Why me? He asked. The alien looked at him carefully. Because you showed what many races have lost, it said. You chose compassion over survival. Evan looked away. I was scared, he said. I still am. That is what makes your courage real, the alien replied. Suddenly, a loud sound filled the ship. A deep alarm. Red light flashed across the room. The alien child woke up suddenly, her eyes wide with fear. Evan moved without thinking. He went to her and lifted her gently into his arms. It's okay, he whispered. I'm here. Another alien rushed in. They are near, it said. The enemy fleet has entered the outer sector. Evan felt the weight of those words. They found us? He asked. The alien nodded. They were searching not only for the child, it said, but for the human who protected her. Evan looked down at the child. She held onto his shirt tightly. They are coming for me. He said. Yes, the alien answered. But also for the symbol you have become. Evan frowned. Symbol? The alien touched a panel. A large image appeared. It showed Evan standing in the alley, bleeding, arms open, protecting the child. This image was being shown across many alien worlds, screens, holograms, news feeds. The story of a human who stood against death for a child, the alien said, has spread faster than war. Evan stared in shock. I never wanted attention, he whispered. But attention found you, the alien replied. Many now ask the same question. The image changed. Alien faces of many kinds appeared, all asking, what kind of species would die for a child not its own? Evan felt something heavy in his chest. What happens now? He asked. The alien looked at him with calm eyes. Now it said, you must decide who you are to the galaxy. Another explosion-like sound shook the ship. Lights flickered. They are attacking, another alien shouted. Evan tightened his hold on the child. I can't fight an army, Evan said. I'm just one man. The alien placed a hand on his shoulder. You are more than one man now, it said. You are proof that humanity is not weak, but brave. Evan slowly looked up. Then teach me, he said, how to protect her. The alien's eyes glowed softly. We will, it replied. But know this, the alien leaned closer. The moment you stand for her again, you will no longer belong only to Earth. Evan took a deep breath. He looked at the child, then at the stars beyond the glass wall. I already crossed that line, he said. The ship shook again. Outside, bright flashes lit the darkness of space. The war had found him. But so had his purpose, and somewhere in the shadows of the galaxy, enemies whispered his name with fear, because the story of a human who refused to fall was just beginning. The ship moved through space like a silent shadow. Evan stood in a long silver hallway. The alien child was beside him, holding his hand tightly. Around them, alien soldiers moved fast and quiet. Their armor shined like liquid metal. Their eyes were sharp. Their steps were calm. Yet Evan could feel something heavy in the air, not fear. Respect. He could feel it in the way they looked at him, not like a prisoner, not like a guest, but like something rare. The child looked up at him. Will they hurt us? She asked in her soft, broken human words. Evan bent down and looked into her glowing eyes. No, he said gently. They won't hurt you. I promise. She nodded and held his hand even tighter. They stopped in front of two tall doors. The doors opened without sound. Inside was a large round room. The wall showed moving stars and distant planets. In the center stood 5 figures, elite alien warriors. They were taller than the others. Their armor was darker, edged with glowing gold lines. Each one carried a long weapon that looked older than time itself. The room felt heavy. Evan felt his heart beat faster, but he did not step back. The warriors walked forward. Then something happened that Evan never expected. They knelt. All 5. They lowered their heads. The child gasped. Evan froze. One of the warriors spoke. Human Evan Hawley, the deep voice said. You stood where no warrior stood. Evan swallowed. I only protected a child, he said. The warrior lifted his head. And that, he replied, is why we kneel. The other warriors touched their weapons to the floor in respect. You took 8 stabs. The warrior continued. For one who is not of your kind, you chose death over safety. Evan did not know what to say. The warrior looked at the child. She is our last light, he said, and you became her shield. The child stepped forward slowly and bowed her head. Evan placed his hand on her shoulder. The warrior stood. We are the Golden Guard, he said, the strongest protectors of the royal blood. Evan's eyes widened. And now, the warrior continued, we are also your protectors. Evan looked around the room. I don't need guards, he said quietly. I need her to be safe." The warrior smiled slightly. "Then you will never walk alone again." Suddenly, another alien entered the room in a rush. "Enemy ships have broken through the outer ring," it said. The warriors turned at once. Their calm did not break. The leader looked back at Evan. "The enemy comes not only for her," he said, "but for you." Evan felt a strange calm inside. "If they want me," he said, "they will have to go through me again." The warrior looked deeply into Evan's eyes. "You already proved that," he said, "but this time, you will not stand alone." The room darkened as space outside flashed with distant light. War was near, but before anything could happen, a soft sound came from the child. She tugged Evan's sleeve. "Will you leave me?" she asked. Evan knelt in front of her. "No," he said without thinking. "I won't leave you. Not ever." She smiled softly and hugged him. At that moment, Evan felt something stronger than fear or pain. Purpose. A strange device floated toward Evan. The warrior leader spoke again. "This is a mark," he said, "a symbol of protection recognized across many worlds." The device touched Evan's arm lightly. A glowing symbol appeared on his skin. It did not burn. It did not hurt. "Right, with this," the warrior said, "no soldier of the Golden Guard will raise a weapon against you, and many others will know you as one who protects the weak." Evan looked at the symbol. A human, marked by alien warriors. The galaxy was changing his story, and his story was changing the galaxy. The ship shook. "Battle stations," a voice echoed. The warriors turned and marched toward the exit. The leader paused and looked back at Evan. "Human. Evan Hale," he said, "your door was once opened by danger." Evan remembered the knock that had come in his old small room on Earth. The warrior continued. "Now the universe knocks at your door." Evan took a deep breath. He looked at the child, then at the stars. Then at the coming war. "I'm ready," he said quietly. "Not as a soldier, not as a hero, but as a human who refuses to turn away from a child in need. And somewhere in the dark, enemies began to fear not an army, but one man who would not step aside. The transport ship moved slowly through a sky filled with strange colors. Evan stood near the clear window, watching a world that was not Earth rise below him. Huge oceans of silver, water, floating mountains, cities that glowed like stars fallen onto the ground. The alien child stood beside him, her small hand in his. "This is my home," she said softly. Evan nodded. "It's beautiful," he replied. The ship landed in silence. The doors opened, and warm golden light filled the room. Outside, thousands of beings were waiting. Tall ones, small ones, winged ones, scaled ones, creatures from worlds Evan had never dreamed of. They did not shout. They did not run. They watched him. As Evan stepped down, whispers moved through the crowd like wind. "That is the human. He is the one who stood against death. He protected royal blood." Evan felt his heart beat fast. He was not wearing armor. No weapon. Just simple clothes and a tired face. Yet everyone looked at him like he was something greater. The Golden Guard walked beside him, their armor shining in the light. The child held his hand tighter. "Why are they staring?" she asked. "Because," Evan said gently, "they see something they did not expect." They entered a great hall made of crystal and light. The floor reflected the sky above. The walls showed moving stars like living art. At the center stood elders of many races. Old beings with eyes full of wisdom and pain. One elder stepped forward. "Human Evan Hall," the elder said, "you stand among legends, though you are not born of them." Evan lowered his head slightly. "I am just a man," he said. The elder smiled softly. "And that," it said, "is what makes you rare." The elder raised a hand. An image appeared in the air. It showed warriors fighting in space, planets burning, children crying in dark ruins. "This is our galaxy," the elder said. strong but broken. The image changed. Now it showed Evan in the alley, bleeding, arms open, protecting the child. And this, the elder continued, is what the galaxy has forgotten. Silence filled the hall. Many eyes looked at Evan with something like hope. Evan swallowed. I did not come here to be praised, he said. I came because a child needed help. The elders nodded. Double quotes. And that, one said, is why your presence here is dangerous and powerful. Evan frowned. Dangerous? He asked. Yes, the elder replied. Because if a single human can do this, others may follow. Evan felt a strange weight on his shoulders. What do you want from me? He asked quietly. The elder looked at the child. We want you to remain what you are, it said. A reminder that strength without kindness is empty. Suddenly, a loud sound shook the hall. A soldier rushed in. Enemy forces have landed on the outer city. It shouted. Fear moved through the crowd. The golden guard turned at once. Evan felt the child move closer to him. The elder looked at Evan again. They come for her, it said. And for the idea you represent. Evan closed his eyes for a moment. Then he opened them. Then I will stand again, he said. Not because I am strong, but because someone has to. The elder studied him carefully. You do not even know how to fight, it said. Evan gave a small smile. I did not know how to fight in that alley either, he replied. But I knew how to stand. The Golden Guard leader stepped forward. Then, stand with us, he said, and we will make sure you are never alone. Evan looked at the child. She looked back at him with trust in her eyes. I'll protect you, he whispered. She smiled. At that moment, something strange happened. The crowd slowly lowered their heads, not in fear, in respect. A human, among legends, being honored not for power, but for heart. The alarms echoed again. The war was moving closer, but now, Evan was no longer just a man from Earth. He was a symbol. And symbols are dangerous to those who rule by fear. Somewhere beyond the shining city, enemies were preparing their next move, not against an army, but against a human who taught the galaxy how to care again. The sky above the shining city turned dark, not because night had come, but because war had arrived. Enemy ships covered the clouds like black shadows. Their shapes were sharp and cruel. Red lights blinked across their sides like angry eyes. Sirens echoed through the city. People ran. Soldiers moved fast. The air was filled with fear. Evan stood on a high balcony beside the Golden Guard leader. Below them, the great city of light trembled under the sound of coming battle. They are here for the child, Evan said quietly. Yes, the warrior replied. And for the symbol you have become. Evan looked down at his hands. He remembered the factory, the long hours, the quiet streets of Earth. Now he stood between worlds. The alien child stood behind him, holding his jacket. Are they monsters? She asked softly. Evan turned and knelt before her. They are afraid, he said, and afraid beings do terrible things. She nodded slowly. The first blast hit the outer shield. The city shook. Evan felt it through his bones. The Golden Guard moved into formation. Their armor glowed brighter as energy flowed through them. Evan took a step forward. I want to stand with you, he said. The leader looked at him. You are not trained, he said. You have no weapon. Evan raised his head. I have something, he replied. I refuse to step aside. The leader was silent for a moment. Then he placed a small device into Evan's hand. This will protect you, he said. Not with power, but with choice. The device wrapped around Evan's arm like living light. He felt warmth spread through his body. Not strength, not speed, clarity. The enemy ships began to descend. Dark figures fell from the sky like rain. The battle began. Energy blasts lit the air. Explosions shook the streets. The Golden Guard rushed forward like a wall of light against darkness. Evan followed, not running ahead, not hiding behind. Walking, step by step. The child was taken to safety behind shields, but she kept looking back at him. Evan reached a wide open square. There, enemy soldiers landed in front of him. Tall, armored. Their eyes burned red. One raised its weapon. Evan did not attack. He raised his hand slowly. The alien hesitated. "You want me?" Evan said loudly. "Not the child, not the city." The enemy leader stepped forward. "You are nothing," it said. "Only a weak human." Evan looked straight into its eyes. "Maybe," he replied. "But I am a human who stood." The alien lifted its weapon. But then, something unexpected happened. The device on Evan's arm glowed brightly. Not with fire, not with force, but with memory. Images spread through the air around him. The alley, the child, the knives. Not with force, but with memory. Images spread through the air around him. The alley, the child, the not with fire, with fire, not with force. His fall. Every soldier, both enemy and ally, saw it for a moment. The battlefield was silent. The enemy soldiers looked at the image. Some lowered their weapons. Some stepped back. Fear changed into doubt. The enemy leader shouted, "Do not be fooled. He is only one." Evan stepped forward. "One can be enough," he said, "when one refuses to bow." The Golden Guard stood beside him now. Their weapons were ready. But they did not strike. They waited. The enemy leader roared and charged. Evan did not move. The Golden Guard moved instead. They stopped the leader with one powerful strike, sending it crashing to the ground. The enemy forces began to retreat, not because they were defeated, but because they were shaken by a human who did not fight with rage, but with courage. The sky slowly cleared. The enemy ships pulled away. Silence returned to the city. Evan stood in the middle of the square. Tired, breathing hard, but still standing. The Golden Guard leader approached him. "You faced an army without raising a weapon," he said. "This will be remembered longer than any battle." Evan looked around at the city. He saw people coming out slowly, looking at him, not with fear, with wonder. The child ran to him and hugged him tightly. "You didn't leave," she said. Evan smiled softly. "I told you I wouldn't." At that moment, Evan understood something. He was not changing the galaxy by force. He was changing it by example. And that was far more powerful. The city was quiet again. Not the quiet of fear, but the quiet after a storm. Broken walls were being repaired. Lights returned slowly across the shining towers. People walked through the streets, tired but alive. Evan stood on a high platform, looking over the city. The alien child stood beside him, holding his hand. Below them, beings of many worlds gathered. Not for war, but for a story. The Golden Guard leader walked forward. "Today," he said loudly, "the galaxy witnessed something rare." He raised his arm and pointed at Evan. Not power, not weapons, not conquest, but courage. Evan felt uncomfortable. He did not like standing before crowds. He stepped forward slowly. "I did not come here to be remembered," Evan said. "I came because a child was in danger." The crowd became silent. The child squeezed his hand. "I am not a hero," Evan continued. "I am only a human who could not turn away." The Golden Guard leader looked at him with respect. "That," he sighed, "is why you will be remembered." A soft glow filled the sky. Large floating screens appeared above the city. They showed images from many worlds. Humans helping alien refugees, alien doctors saving human lives, children of different species playing together. These images, the leader said, are spreading across the galaxy. Evan looked at them in surprise. The story of one human has become a bridge between worlds. The child looked up at Evan. "Does that mean humans are famous now?" she asked innocently. Evan Smiled, not famous, he said. Trusted. The leader raised his voice again. From this day forward, he declared, humans shall be known across the stars as... He paused, then said, the brave ones. A wave of quiet moved through the crowd, not loud cheers. Not shouting, just deep respect. Evan closed his eyes for a moment. He remembered Earth, the factory, the tired streets, the lonely nights. He had never thought his small life could touch the galaxy. And yet, here he stood. The Golden Guard leader walked to the child and knelt. You are safe now, he said gently, because you were protected by a human. The child turned to Evan and hugged him tightly. You protected me, she said. So now I will protect you too. Evan laughed softly. I think I'll need that, he replied. Later, as the crowd slowly left, Evan and the child stood alone near the edge of the platform. The stars above shined calmly. Will you go back? To Earth? The child asked. Evan looked at the stars for a long moment. Yes, he said slowly. But I won't forget this place. She looked sad for a moment, then smiled. I'll visit, she said. Evan smiled back. I'll be waiting. A small ship appeared beside them. It was simple. Not a warship. Just a traveler's ship. The Golden Guard leader approached. This will take you home, he said. But know this. He placed a hand on Evan's shoulder. The galaxy will never forget what you showed us. Evan nodded. I hope, he said quietly. The galaxy remembers not me, but the choice I made. The child hugged him one last time before stepping back. The ship doors opened. Evan took one last look at the city of light. Then he entered. The ship rose slowly into the sky. As it disappeared into the stars, a new idea remained behind. That strength is not found in claws or fire, but in a heart that refuses to turn away from the weak. And on distant worlds, when children asked their elders what humans were like, they would say, they are not the strongest, they are not the biggest. But when darkness comes, humans are the ones who stand.